In this exercise, we're going to demonstrate one more use of iterators, this time with the tuple data structure. So let's get started. First thing we're going to do is open our file. We'll call it chap9 ex1.py. And what we want to do is we want to create a tuple that's a little more complex than just a standard tuple of single elements. So what we're going to do is we're going to define a square by its points. So I'm going to write out 4 points, or xy coordinates. So what we have is actually 4 tuples inside an enclosing tuple that represents the square, at least in terms of the points of a square. So here's my tuple, and as you can see, each point is represented as another tuple. So we have the point 10, 8, the point 10, 23, the point 25, 23, and the point 25, 8. That represents my square. So if I wanted to display the points of the square, I could write a for loop to do so. So let's save and execute the program. Oops, a little mistake here. Let's fix it. Right there. Try it again. So there are 4 points. To capture that same output using an iterator, we'll go back to our code, comment out the for loop, create an iterator object. We'll call it square it or square it, and we call the iter function with our tuple. Then to print the 4 points, we're simply going to call the next function on square it and do that 4 times. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to type it out one more time, then I'll copy and paste. Control C and then Control V. So that should give us our 4 points, and we don't want to go farther than that. There's nothing else in the tuple anyway. But if we did, then we would get the stop iteration exception. I brought that up just to remind you that in our chapter on exception handling, I'll demonstrate how to use a while loop to go through an explicit iterator and not have the stop iteration exception thrown. But anyway, so now we're ready to display our 4 points. So we're going to click File Save, clear the screen, and there are 4 points again. This exercise demonstrates that we can use iterators even with complex data structures where we have tuples stored inside of tuples. And with that, we wrap up this chapter on iterators.